G'day and welcome to Trinity College Queensland's Open Evening Online. We're glad that you're interested in this place and in all the wonderful things that happen here. My name's Paul Jones and I'm the principal here of the college. I've been working here for about 4 years now, mainly in the areas of Old Testament and preaching, and more recently in this role of director. We're one of 18 colleges in Australia that is accredited by the Australian College of Theology. And there are a lot of exciting things happening here in Brisbane and at Trinity College Queensland, and there are a lot of great people, staff, faculty and students that I want you to meet. So let's jump in. First of all, as you can see, we are in a beautiful spot. And I don't just mean that we're in Australia, I mean that we're in one of the nicest parts of Australia. We're in sunny Queensland, near the Brisbane River, and not far from the city either, as you can see. There are parklands nearby. There's a residential college right next door, Raymond, with a fully serviced cafeteria just downstairs in the very same building as Trinity College. Public transport options are accessible. There are nearby trains, buses, even a ferry on the river. The college itself is on level 1 at 60 Bayliss Street in Auchenflower. And we've recently done a lot of renovations here to optimise our study spaces and our communal spaces. So when you come in, either from the elevator or the staircase, you'll have reception over on your right, and then the student lounge will be over to your left. But let's start with books, and we'll get to food and other interesting things later. At one end of the building is the library, and this is not just any library. This is one of Queensland's best resourced theological libraries. We have a collection here of 27 to 28,000 titles. And under normal circumstances, it's open to the public from 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and then we have extended opening hours for our students. We have an ever-expanding ebook collection and access to the latest theological journals using online databases. Of course, you can do your photocopying and scanning here, and there's a network of Australian College of Theology libraries to connect with for interlibrary loans. Now, as you exit the library, you come into this communal area. The kitchen here is open all the time. You can come and make a cuppa, or grab a bicky, a bit of fruit, whenever you need that extra boost for your studies. And every Tuesday we have chapel service in the morning, again downstairs. And this is where we have lunch together afterwards, after we've had some lectures. Staff, faculty and students all together. We reflect on the worship and the sermon from that morning. We reflect on what we're learning in our classes, challenges we're facing. We talk about what's happening in our lives. And actually, I'd say that that's one of the best things about Trinity. It's the community. And I'm not just saying that. The students say the same thing about this place. We really do genuinely care for each other. And on top of that, of course, who doesn't enjoy a free lunch? Every day when classes are on, which is Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, morning tea's provided. And every Tuesday, the college provides that lunch for free to our student community. On any other day of the week, you're welcome to either bring your own lunch or grab a hearty lunch downstairs at Raymond's cafeteria for about $10. There's also a great coffee shop down there for those of us whose brains don't really function very well without caffeine. I certainly count myself in that group. Once you get through the lounge here, the main lecture rooms are in the middle of the building. And this is where the magic happens, in my opinion. Some would say that it happens in the library, and some would say that it happens in the kitchen. Fine. But in my humble opinion, the classrooms are where the best action is. This is where assumptions are questioned. It's where minds are blown. It's where paradigms are shifted. And sometimes it's where life trajectories are changed forever. Exciting stuff. When you leave those classrooms, you come into a hallway that circles around past the lecturers' offices and then back to the reception where we began this little tour. Now, what exactly is Trinity College Queensland? Well, Trinity is an ecumenical college, and by that I simply mean that although some of our students are training for ministry in the Uniting Church, we do have students here from a range of denominations, and we welcome folks from any corner of the church. In fact, I would say that different insights, different perspectives only makes for better dialogue in the classroom. In the same way, we also have lecturers here and staff whose backgrounds are Baptist, Anglican, Presbyterian, you name it. One of our taglines here is honest answers to tough questions. Not my answers to tough questions, and certainly not set answers or scripted answers to tough questions. Each of us is learning, right? We're all growing, we're discovering new things together, and that's the beauty of community, sharing that together. And so the team here is highly committed to balancing academic rigor on one hand with spiritual vitality. And we will walk alongside you. But at the same time, we totally respect that it's your journey. So what is it that makes Trinity the distinctive place that it is? Well, let me say three things, which seems appropriate since we're talking about Trinity after all. First, Trinity is a place where we take the Bible very seriously. It's our conviction that this is God's living word that has spoken to the people of God for thousands of years and still speaks today. So of course many of our classes and our units are all about how to interpret Scripture well. Secondly, Trinity is a place where we take people very seriously. Local churches, not so local churches, and of course our vibrant student community. We're committed to creating resources for the whole church and to giving our students not only the best opportunities for theological education, but also for their own personal spiritual formation. And needless to say, those two things very much go hand in hand. Third, Trinity is a place where we take education seriously. And that might sound like I'm stating the obvious because we're an education provider after all. But what I mean is that we're very intentional about supporting our students, especially students who are returning to study after a long time, students for whom English is a second language. We also give a lot of thought to what modes of learning are best suited to different needs, the needs of different individuals and of the church. Now sometimes that might be face-to-face lectures. Sometimes it takes the form of podcasts that you can listen to at your own leisure. Sometimes ebooks, at other times interactive workshops to develop a really practical skill set. Sometimes Christians, I know this is my own story, are handed down a faith from their parents, and as they get older, they feel the need to figure out that faith for themselves. Sometimes a person feels a strong call into ministry, but doesn't feel equipped for the task yet. And sometimes a person wants to keep working exactly where they are, but they want a deeper understanding of the Bible and of their own faith. There are lots of reasons that people are coming to Trinity, and I hope that as you consider your own faith journey that you'll consider becoming part of our community here as well. Now I should add that at the moment it's not exactly business as usual, as you can imagine. Obviously the COVID crisis has had a negative impact on our community. But I'm glad to say that it hasn't stopped or even really slowed the teaching and the learning that happens here. We're doing things differently to be sure. But John Frederick is going to tell you about that in a moment, how we're shifting things a little bit to make it all possible. So let me introduce you to the team. First of all, our staff team here consists of Janet Nibbs, our librarian and manager of student services, Dion Norday, our library technician, and I can assure you he does a lot more than just keep those 27,000 books in order, and Belinda HOADLEY, our executive assistant to myself and office manager extraordinaire. These three are the college's engine room, and they do a fabulous job. Now, rather than introducing our faculty, I'll let them introduce themselves. Over to you guys.
Hi, Simon Gomesel's my name. I'm the lecturer in Historical and Contemporary Mission at Trinity College Queensland. That basically means that I get to teach the church history subjects as well as the mission subjects, which in my mind is a great combination because it allows me to dwell simultaneously in all three tenses, the past, the present and the future. Church history is all about looking at the past, learning from it what we can in order to put that into practice in the present. Mission is about looking at how we act in the present in order to create a preferred future. So this combination of subjects is very disciplined, yet it's also very practical. and it will allow you to dive more deeply into your faith as you consider the ways in which God has been at work through His people in the world for the last 2,000 years, as well as more broadly allowing you to share your faith in meaningful ways with the many people in our society who have absolutely no idea that they are loved and cherished by their Creator.
Hi, I'm Victoria Lorimer and I teach systematic theology at Trinity College Queensland. And systematic theology is about making sense of your faith. The medieval theologian St. Anselm described theology as faith-seeking understanding, and I really don't think you can get a better definition than that. It's also about thinking about how all the doctrines hold together. So whether you're talking about Jesus or the church or grace or salvation, thinking about how all these doctrines are linked. And for theology to serve the church and the world, it's something that has to be connected to our lives and our ministries as well. And that's something that we look at, especially in units like ethics and apologetics that we offer here at Trinity. Theology matters because it guides right worship and it helps us to speak truthfully about God. The church needs thinkers and leaders who have a robust, resilient faith. People who can communicate the scriptures faithfully, intelligently, and creatively.
Hi, I'm John Frederick and I teach New Testament and Greek here at Trinity College Queensland. One of the reasons that I moved from Phoenix, Arizona to Brisbane to teach here at Trinity College Queensland was because I knew I was coming into a fellowship of believers amongst the students, but also a fellowship of colleagues who were asking difficult questions about the text without abandoning the historic Christian faith. There's a lot of places that you can study the Bible, but there's not a lot of places that you can honestly seek to know God and to know His Word while asking those difficult questions. And this is one of those places, and I'm just lucky to be able to do that here.
I'm Nigel Rogers and I teach ministry practice here at Trinity College Queensland. Because ministry practice covers a range of areas here at Trinity College Queensland, there'll be times where you find me lecturing in subjects like Introduction to Christian Leadership, which is all about people exploring what it means to be a Christian leader. Other subjects that I teach include faith and work, which gives people the opportunity to discover how the Christian faith applies to any and every workplace. I'm also responsible for the formation program here, which is all about training and forming people for ordained ministry in the life of the Uniting Church.
Well, that concludes our tour of the college and our introductions, at least for now. We would love to meet you in person, of course, and to chat some more if you have an interest in what Trinity is all about. Even if you just want to listen to one of our free podcasts, or come and check out the books in the library, or perhaps to have a conversation, a sit down with one of us about how our course offerings might help you reach your goals, please get in touch. Drop us an email, ask@trinity.qld.edu.au, and let's get a conversation going. Also, of course, there's a ton of information on the website, including how to apply, timetables, faculty bios, upcoming events, and a lot more. Take a look for yourself at trinity.qld.edu.au. Also, a good way to stay in touch with us, what we're doing, when we release podcasts, things like that, is to simply like our Facebook page. Give it that thumbs up. Well, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you taking the time to get to know us a bit, and we hope to see you soon. Bye for now.